Hello, everyone. Well, we're almost at the end of this little challenge here, and I figured I'd give a little update on something that I'm sure the majority of you will be looking forward to. I think it is, without a doubt, the one thing that a lot of people will be looking forward to that I've announced previously is, of course, my Yu-Gi-Oh! GX lecture, and things are still progressing with it, of course. But I have come to a realization within the last few days, I would say. And it's such a multifaceted issue dealing with this lecture, considering the world climate as it is right now. And I think I've come to a pretty simple conclusion. Overall, I think the real life audience that I would even potentially be able to gather, I feel personally that just no one would be interested in all honesty. And to be honest, I want to get my real friends to watch me do this lecture, really. And that's the conclusion that I've come to. That's basically the big update for my lecture. Things are still going relatively as planned, but you do have to understand, GX is a 180 episode anime that I'm gonna be rewatching, and I'm only up to episode 30 something if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so it's gonna take me a while to get through it all and get more notes. I mean, what can I say? I have a lot to say on the series, and if you couldn't already tell, having almost a 20-page, write-up before I've even rewatched the show is kind of a lot to take in. That being said, I do want to provide to you all an explanation as to why I'm sort of changing what I'm doing. Because initially, I was going to try to get people in real life, a real audience, at first, but I've just come to the conclusion that it just isn't what I want to do. Despite even asking some of the members of the PCP themselves and getting the opposite answer, I do just want to generally explain myself. Having the lecture in person provided itself many issues, and even if I tried not to, it would provide its own issues too, but that's besides the point. Having the lecture in person itself, honestly, just poses a health risk considering COVID and what's going on right now. Sure, I can make sure that none of my friends are sick, but how would I truly even know, first of all? Another thing, how many people would I try to get, and how would I manage to find a time where all of them could, come over for the multiple hours that I'm sure it will be? That itself was just one of many challenges. Another being, I would need to hit up people that I haven't spoken to in a very long time, and how awkward would it be to just be like, hey, I want you to come over to my house so we can film this thing for hours, Sure, I can explain to them what it is, but they wouldn't really get it, To be quite honest, this is the main reason I don't really want to do the live audience, is because most of my friends, if I wanted to do this whole lecture thing, to you all, the audience, they really would be normies. That's just how it is. They're not into anime, they're not into any niche things. They're just normal ass people with jobs and who like sports and that kind of thing overall. So this idea of mine, I didn't think it was really that good, and I talked it out with more of my online friends to see what they thought, and to be honest, they had more sound opinions. Honestly, guys, this is the big deal. I'm gonna do my lecture with the Procrastinators Anonymous as my audience. I've come to that decision just because of so many various factors, in all honesty. Just between what I've already stated and just the challenges with not only getting that live audience, but having a good audience is what it comes down to. I have friends in the Procrastinators Anonymous who are legitimately, sincerely interested in this lecture. My real life friends, they probably couldn't give two shits if I asked them to. So why put myself through that stress, Not to mention another problem with real life filming and that kind of thing. I'm gonna have to, clear out a room, a space to hold this lecture in. Well, doing it online, I can just do it in my room. No hassle. Just set it up really easily, just in my room. I don't have to, set up a room or anything like that. That is also important too, so I just don't bother anyone else in my house. And to be quite honest, one more point that sort of boosts this up is you might think to yourself, oh, well, if you don't have a live audience, it'll be less soulful. But what I think I'm going to try to do to alleviate that sort of thing is I will have my friends in the Procrastinators Anonymous, as many as they can, whoever has webcams to record, I'll also probably need their audio, and yeah, it'll just make the lecture way more soulful to have those reactions in there, and I can edit them in post. More than likely, what will occur is I will have a local recording from my camera with basically the money shot, and then I'll probably have my computer on at the same time and be streaming, probably from my phone, depending on whether or not I get a webcam between now and then, I suppose. But either way, I can still use my phone, and I plan to provide everyone, and the viewers of course at home, with a link in the lecture's description to a just much bigger picture of the whiteboard. Not only that, I just think it'll be way better. I think the quality of the lecture overall will be higher with me deciding to do it this way. So I hope you can understand my reasoning for that. I truly do think, personally, that this is the best direction for the lecture. Because honestly, I hope with the reasons I provided to you already, that you can just understand my point of view, and that, in my opinion, I think that this will raise the quality of the lecture by a lot. I think having a boring, normie audience would just not be very pleasing to you guys. So I hope that this decision by me is well respected by any of my viewers for what I will decide to do with the lecture. And just in case you're not sure if I'm super committed to this or whatever, oh, I totally am. And just like I said before, just in case you're not sure I'm not committed or something like that, I already have a Google Doc with over 20 pages of notes, and also I have a manila folder, which I will give you a little shot of right here, just to show that I'm really committing to this thing, you know? And you guys already know, this is what the past few months have really been for anyways. This was me getting all of the physical things necessary just for a lecture. Of course, I've, spent the last year getting all this equipment and stuff to do this for you guys. So I hope you'll give it a watch and hope you'll enjoy. Also, just in case you didn't notice, in my About page I also detail this more. But I think that the lecture is a great idea, and I think it will garner some attention to my channel. And I think that will be true. But what I will do is what I think GX deserves. GX deserves, from me, 2 videos, a la best anime ever. And it might not seem obvious now, but you'll see, I think I have the tools necessary and the will to do it, so I will. That is a promise. Obviously, I don't want to give any dates or anything, but yeah. Bye!